Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock getting price target and price prediction upgrades from various experts, professionals, analysts, and financial institutions. So for more videos on Palantir Technologies, don't forget to go and annihilate that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, comment down below your personal price target for Palantir Technologies PLTR stock over the next 12 months, and don't forget to become a member of this channel to support me personally for as little as 99 cents. But if you can't afford that, don't worry. By subscribing, you're going to get this content for absolutely free. And with that being said, let's jump right into today's stories. Palantir Technologies, as you already probably know, is a big data and analytics company which serves both commercial enterprises as well as government clients, and they specifically specialize in artificial intelligence. Palantir Technologies recently got multiple rating upgrades for their overall price targets for their PLTR stock price, to where Citigroup raised their price target from $6 up to $10 according to the most recent research report. This is absolutely phenomenal news for this overall company, and it shows that analysts, professionals, experts, and financial institutions are changing their mind about this company, and it's fantastic news to see them increase their overall price targets. Now, I do want to say that not all of these price target upgrades were as bullish as Citigroup's $4 upgrade. For instance, we also have a price target from Wolf Research, which increased their low-end $6 price target up to only $7.50 as of their most recent published report. But if we take a step back, we can see that a plethora of other financial institutions are much more bullish on this overall company, increasing by far more than just $1.50 like Wolf Research. For instance, we also saw a Mizuho analyst lift their overall price target from $8 up to $14 back in July, which was phenomenal news. But the good news doesn't stop there, because we also have a Raymond James analyst increasing their price target from $18 up to $22, and this came shortly after a Wedbush analyst who is named Daniel Ives, who we've been following for quite a while now, reaffirmed his outperform rating on Palantir Technologies with a price target as high as $25, which is the most bullish price target from a prestigious institution and analyst. So all of this is fantastic news for Palantir shareholders as well as the company in general, because it shows that multiple financial institutions and analysts see further upside potential in this stock. As an investor, please don't get swept away with this very positive news. Instead, be smart and dollar cost average into this company so your average cost basis averages out over time, making you have a very competitive average cost basis for the company. This means that you're going to take advantage of the future potential of this overall company, which I think is very bright. So all in all, I would say these financial institutions and analysts increasing the price targets and even ratings for Palantir Technologies is extremely bullish and positive, and that's exactly what we want to see as investors. Now, despite this, if you've looked at the overall PLTR stock price, you know that the PLTR share price has fallen from around $20 down to around $15, because currently the PLTR share price is $15.45 per share. And as you can see on screen, we saw that major pullback happen after earnings in the overall share price. But the good news is that if you are a long-term investor such as myself, then the future growth trajectory looks absolutely amazing. And I've been reporting on this company for the last 2 years, always advocating to hold or buy this company for the long term, because that's what I am, a long-term investor. I've heard some rumors lately saying that Palantir Technologies has fallen in their overall commercial revenue, and that their commercial clients are somewhat teetering off right now, but let me only agree with them halfway. Yes, their commercial revenue grew by just 10% year over year, while their government revenue grew by around 15% as of the most recent earnings report. However, this does not mean that commercial revenue is stopping or it has plateaued. If anything, I think their commercial revenue eventually will outpace the growth that they are experiencing in their government segment. And because Palantir is pulling both from the commercial enterprises as well as government agencies, this allows them to diversify themselves even during hard economic times, because even if commercial enterprises can't afford to spend this money, we have their government contracts to fall back on. However, I think their commercial revenue is going to be their main revenue driver, which I've been saying for many years as of right now. And here is the beginning of the proof of this happening right before our eyes. Palantir reported that it has gained more than 100 organizations which are involved in the healthcare, finance, automotive, and energy spaces. But that might not be new news news to you. However, let me tell you something that you probably don't know. These organizations have yet to be reflected in their overall financials, and with another 300 to 400 companies and organizations on top of this currently in negotiations with Palantir Technologies, their future commercial segment is set to explode coming up in their next few earnings reports. Therefore, we could see literally over the next 2 quarters, their commercial clients outpacing the amount of government clients that they are bringing in, which also should help them increase their overall revenue from their commercial segment compared to their government segment. In essence, this means that the company has a very long-term growth trajectory ahead of them, expanding far further than the next 2 quarters. But even with that very bullish perspective, we need to understand that Palantir Technologies themselves are not growing fast enough to justify their current price to sales ratio, which currently hovers between 16 and 17 right now. However, if Palantir Technologies can get their revenue guidance above a 23% CAGR, which is a compounding annual growth rate, that would make this 16 to 17 price to sales or PS multiple much more digestible for investors. On a more positive note, their management even mentioned during their earnings call that they have signed significant deals which are currently in the pipeline, and as these opportunities continue to grow, we can see that their existing customers are doubling down and expanding their relationship with Palantir, and we also know that their government contracts are doing the exact same. So as of right now, this is very bullish positive news for Palantir Technologies overall, and the future looks very bright for this company. However, we do have one more thing that we definitely need to talk about, and that would be, is Palantir Technologies stock a buy right now? Should investors buy PLTR stock right now? If you know me, you know I'm going to tell you to dollar cost average into this company or hold the company. Because the whole reason this company pulled back is because bulls were expecting a much bigger revenue beat and even an earnings beat in their last earnings report. But since it did not live up to expectations, we saw the overall share price drop very dramatically. So then that begs the question, should investors buy Palantir stock after the post-earnings pullback? Well, I would say yes, feel free to start adding to your overall portfolio right now. But this does come with a caveat because you wouldn't want to overexpose yourself more than a 5% initial portfolio allocation, because then you would be taking on unnecessary risk of potential losses, and we don't want that. This stock is extremely volatile, so we could see massive upswings and downtrends and pullbacks multiple times throughout the year, but we are trying to hone in on their long-term growth trajectory. For instance, back in 2020, when their revenue was growing by around 47%, and even in 2021 where it grew by around 41%, clearly Palantir Technologies justified their overall accounting ratios. But in 2022, when Palantir's revenue only rose by around 24%, and even right now, their CAGR for the revenues are below that, this makes their accounting ratios harder to justify, which is the problem that investors are running into. However, like I said before, if Palantir can get their CAGR back to around 23 to 24% in regards to the revenue, this is going to be very positive for Palantir. On top of that, like we've discussed in previous videos, if they bring in another consecutive quarter of profits, they are eligible then to be added to the S&P 500, where a lot of money is going to flow into this company from people who are buying index funds, ETFs, and other types of funds that track the S&P 500 index. But here's the rub. Palantir expects that for the 3rd quarter, they're anticipated to bring in between 16 to 17% revenue growth on a year-over-year basis, meaning that their revenue for the full year is anticipated to come in at around a 16% CAGR, to where their total revenues will reach $2.21 billion, and that 16% does not justify that 23 to 24% that we were talking about earlier. However, other professionals, as well as some investors, are still betting on the future growth of the company happening in the year of 2024, so they're willing to bite the bullet right now for the next few quarters until 2024 to when the overall revenue is supposed to ramp up back to over or around 20%. So that could be a very good long-term outlook on this overall company, and honestly, I would endorse that overall perspective as long as you are not already overexposed and you leave room to average down your average cost basis for this company, because some people invest too heavily up front and then they don't have enough room to average down. For instance, for investors who bought back when the company was overpriced in this area, area, these types of investors who lump summed into the company have yet to make any profit back. But if you invested a little bit here at the high and then a little bit lower over here and then at this high, but then you reinvested back here and then you invested here and then you reinvested back right now, all of this would average out to where you would literally be at almost a break-even point as of right now. Meaning that the future growth that this company is anticipated to bring in, that is going to benefit you greatly. So overall, this is just a matter of investing style and overall strategy, and please be smart and remember not to overexpose yourself to any singular risky growth company, because that would include Palantir Technologies in that overall analysis. There are so many other great companies out there, there's no reason to overexpose yourself to one company and not invest into the others. Imagine that there is a horse race and there are 5 horses running and you are allowed to bet on every single horse, and whichever horse wins, you're going to make more money than you put into the race. In this example, it guarantees you to make money instead of betting everything just on one horse. So instead of betting all of your money on Palantir, which would be one horse in this example, why not bet on a plethora of horses, which are other strong companies that are anticipated to win over the long term as well? Overexposure just adds more risk to the company, and to me, that's unnecessary risk. You don't need to actually add that to your overall portfolio, but being exposed to Palantir Technologies is definitely a good idea in my personal opinion. So for more videos on Palantir Technologies, remember to go and annihilate that like button. I would love to hear your thoughts about what you think their future price target is over the next 12 months. Don't forget to go and annihilate that subscribe button and to support me personally by becoming a member and hitting that join button. But with that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.